I also wanted to show you how to how to mess around with time and how to adjust and retime things if you would like to. So again, one way to change the way the football players are jumping here would be just to go in here and adjust the keyframes, right? So if I wanted to take them longer to move, I could just move that keyframe down and it just take a little longer for that top one to hit. But sometimes you want to just sort of retime like an entire elements or entire composition or anything like that. And there's different ways to do it. One of the easiest ways that I like to show people, let's say you're looking for kind of a slow motion effect, is if you just click on a video file. So again, I would recommend if you're going to do a lot of retiming to one of your comps, that you would just go ahead and render that composition as a video file and then re-import it back in to After Effects so that you can do all of this, because it really works better when you're playing with a QuickTime effect as opposed to so here you can see this is a QuickTime file, not a composition. So I can retime this very easily. And if I just click here, there's a couple different things that I can do. So if I click on it and go again up here in the project, if I wanted to loop this over and over and over again, I could click on it and go to Control Click, and you want to go to Interpret Footage and go to Main. And here you'll get all these options, right? So you get a whole bunch of things. But the main thing that we want to think about here would be, well, let's say I want to loop it 10 times. If you click that button, then every place where you put that footage in, it's going to loop it 10 times. It's not going to help us much. Not going to change too much here with this because it's this is such a long file. But if I just had a really short, like 2-second video file that I wanted to loop 100 times, just go in there, change it in the project, and then place it, and you'll see it just loops over and over and over again. And that's a super quick, easy way to loop something. Another thing you can do with time is you can slow it down. So if you want to go here, if you click on your object here, so you just click on the layer and you go to Control Click on that, you'll see there's one up here that says time. And if you go to time stretch, you can do that, and let's say we stretch this to like 20%, right? That's gonna make this thing a lot faster. So now this is gonna look like, when I press play, it's gonna look comically fast, right? So things are gonna go really, really quickly. And so, that would be a way to speed it up. If I want to slow it down, I could click on it again, go up here to time, and go to time stretch, and I could, let's say I change it to like 500%. Now this is going to go so slow that we'll probably hardly even see anything move around in the picture frame. So so it's like a super slow motion way of so here you got to see a bird. If you want to see a bird flying really slowly, now that bird's going slow, and it slows the video or the audio down as well, which is something you want to watch out for. If you don't want that, you can just click that button, the audio button, off. But you can see it's like slow motion there, right? And it's a little bit jumpy, kind of like you can see each frame of the video file because we've slowed it down so much. So those are like the most basic, simple ways to do it. And if you don't like what you did, you just click on it, go back up here to time, go to time stretch, and just set it back to 100%. And there you go. And if you don't like the way the footage has been interpreted, you can go back in here, go to interpret footage, and go to, just say loop 1 time. So those are basic ways to control time. There's also a fancier way of doing it, which is called time remapping. So if you click on this and you go to, you go up here to time and you go to enable time remapping, it's going to give you like a little sort of stopwatch thing here with a whole bunch of options on it. And this gets really, really complicated. And so sometimes it's easier to look at it here like as a graph. But basically what you're doing is you're telling it speed up or slow down between these 2 points. So let's say I add a point here, move forward 2 seconds, and I do this. Telling it, be at this point in time by the time the keyframe gets there. So we're going to start it here, and then it's gonna go really fast, and then it's gonna slow it back down to normal. So it's just a way of like again like kind of like changing the timing. So if you wanted to go fast and then slow, you could do that. There's also this little button here you can push, which is it'll give you the graph, and you can actually just pull up and down on these things, and you can ease in or ease out. So there are these little buttons here that you can push that'll like give you these little bits, the Bezier things that'll help you kind of like it'll make things look less jumpy when you retime them. So this is another way to fast forward. If you want to do a lot of special effects things, you can do that. If we go back in here and we add another point, and then I drag it down here like this, well, now what happens? Let's see. So it's going to go fast, and then it's probably going to go, and I think I want to move it back there like that. So or maybe I want to stretch it out to slow it down a whole bunch, right? So now let's see what we get out of that. So now it's going to slow that footage down a little bit. So these are like kind of professional ways that they do time remapping in movies or music videos and things like that. And so you can, again, it just taxes the RAM on the computer a lot when you do it. But this thing is a nice way to look at it. If it gets confusing, you can just go back to just always unclick it. So those are some ways to adjust and play around with time.